Let us see our second solution of reading and writing data using streams in HTTP module. So first, inside this folder, I will be creating one file stream readwrite.js. So first, you should make a point. Our HTTP request is nothing but it is readable stream, and our HTTP response is nothing but it is writable stream. Okay, HTTP request is readable stream and HTTP response is writable stream. And complete streams we have already understood, and we have used streams only with FS module. Now, using the second solution of reading and writing the file, we will use streams in HTTP module. And if you remember, we have seen four types of streams: readable stream, writable stream, duplex stream, and transform stream. And using streams, we can work with chunk of data rather than working with large amount of data. Instead of copy pasting entire content using streams, what we can do, chunk by chunk, we can read the contents, and once it is ready, then that chunk we can send to the client. Again, step by step, we will be starting with this lecture. First, we are going to create our server and we will be listening for that server. Here, I will be writing server require. I will give the prefix as node HTTP module, and from here I will access this create server method. And on this server, whenever this request event is fired, we are going to call this callback function. Inside this callback function, we will be having request and response. So HTTP request is nothing but it is readable stream, and HTTP response is nothing but it is writable stream. And then finally, we are just going to listen for this request. I will be writing server.listen port number, and then I will be passing this callback function. I will write the string server is listening. Okay, that's it. Successfully, we have created the server as well as we are listening for the request on this port. And now the whole idea of using this stream is whatever data we are reading, we will not be assigning that data into the variable so that the variable will not be stored inside the memory. Instead, we are just going to create readable stream. So inside this, I will be creating one variable. I will write read data, and here we should be using FS module. I'm just going to require FS module, and inside this I will pass fs dot create readable stream. Inside this I will be passing the path of the file, and I want to read the content of read1.txt. So instead of directly assigning to the variable, what I am doing, I am just creating a readable stream. Previously we have assigned to the variable, which means entire data has to be stored in the memory, and when user is requesting, accordingly data will be sent. But using stream, it is not the case. Chunk by chunk, whichever data is ready, that data will be sent to the client. And whenever that chunk of data is ready, on this readable stream, data event will be fired. So we have to listen for that event, read data dot on. Inside this, I will be passing this data event. And second, we have to pass the callback function, and this callback function will be holding that chunk of data. So here I will be passing the argument as chunk. Now maybe in first chunk I am having this data. Once this data is ready, this data event will be fired, and that particular data will be passed in the chunk. And maybe in second time this chunk is ready, again data event will be fired, and that data will be passed in the chunk. Now once this chunk is ready, what we have to do, we have to write it to a writable stream. We have created readable stream. Once this chunk is ready, we have to write this data to the writable stream, and writable stream is nothing but HTTP response. So here we are going to write response. Now we have to write the data. So here I will be writing write method. Inside this I will be passing chunk. So here our response is nothing but writable string. And once my chunk of data is ready, I am just going to write it to the writable stream, and that is nothing but my response. And here we can use this write method to send every single piece of data into our stream. With this, what we have done, effectively, we are streaming the content from the file and writing it to the client. In this, what we have done, entire data will be stored inside the variable, and once this variable is ready, only then this piece of data will be sent to the client. But using the streams, it is completely different. Once our chunk is ready, so basically we are going to read one piece of the file, and as soon as that data is available, that will be sent to the client using the write method on this response stream. Again, when the next piece is available, then again that piece will be sent, and this entire thing will be repeated until all the content of the file is read and streamed to the client. Now here successfully we have read the data and we are streaming the data to the client. Now once entire data is read, we should also fire other events. And here this response is also a stream. So what we have to do? Now on this response, we have to do end method. So using that end method, we are just making a signal that no more data will be returned to this writable stream. So here below this, on this read data, I'm just going to fire this on event. Inside this, I will be passing this end event, and this event will be fired when there is no more data to read. And inside this, directly I will be passing response.end. And inside this, we don't have to pass any string because we have already sent all the data using this response.write. And how we have sent? Chunk by chunk, we have sent all the data. So when readable stream finished reading all the content of the file, then we simply have to signal, that there is no more data to read. So that is the reason this end event will be fired. So once all the data is read, end event will be fired. In that, we are just passing this response.end. We are also having one more event. I will write here read data on. If we are having any error, then this error event will be fired. I will pass this callback function. Inside this, I will write log. I will be passing error. And also on this response, we can set the status code. I will write status code. I will be writing 500. Below this, as a response, I will send file not found. Like for example, whenever I am creating the read stream, if I am passing the wrong file name, then this event will be fired and this response will be sent to the client. Below this, we are listening to the server. I will open terminal, terminate this, run this application, node, stream, read, write.js. Okay, I got the error. Duplicate parameter name not allowed. 2 times I have given this. Let me just change. Here I will be having request and here it should be response. Again, I'm just going to run my application. Now server is listening. Come here, refresh this. Now you can see this data I have got using stream. I have not used file system, read file and write file method. Instead, I'm using streams. I'll come here. Now, I'm just going to give wrong path. Before that, inside this callback function, let me pass this error. I will just remove this one. Save it. Open terminal. Terminate this. Run this application. Server is listening. Again, I will request. Now I will be having file is not found. And inside this, whatever error I am having, that error will be displayed. No such file or directory. So here I am displaying the error. So that error will be displayed in the console. So basically, instead of creating the data and assigning to the variable, we have just created readable stream which is going to read this data in chunks. So once one piece is available, this data event will be fired and that data will be sent to the client. And once entire reading is completed, this end event will be fired where we are just signaling no more data to read and we are simply sending empty response. And then if we are having any error, then this error event will be fired where our status code we are setting to 500 and we are just sending this response to the client. Now let me show you where the status code will be displayed. I will inspect, come to network tab. Again, I'm just going to refresh my application. Here on this status, my status code 500 will be set. So based on the different errors, you can set different status code. Here, if you just want to set successful, then also you can set. But compared to read file and write file, streaming is the best solution. Okay, everything is working fine in this solution, but still we are having problem with this approach. And the problem we have with this readable stream. And this readable stream we are using to read data from the file. So in real world, using streams, reading the data using stream is much faster when compared to writing stream over the network. If that is the case, if a readable stream is much faster than writing stream, then what happens? A response stream will be overwhelmed and so fast this response stream will not be able to handle all incoming requests. And this problem is actually termed as back pressure. And this is the real problem that you might face in real life situation. And back pressure happens when a data producer sends data faster than the data consumer can handle. So in our case, the producer is fs dot create read stream, which is going to read chunk of data from a file. And the consumer is HTTP response object that sends the data to the client. If the response object is slower at sending the data, maybe due to some network issues or client side limitations, then what stream will be doing? It is just going to build backlog of data. So using streams, we might face some issues, and to fix this, we are having even more better solution, and that is using pipes.